Okay, so there doesn't seem to be... anything majorly of note down here.
Move along.
We might check out the justice offices. Let's just make sure. Okay, getting that marksman up. Okay, yeah, there's nothing down here. Okay, let's check out the justice offices. And then I'll call that due diligence. And I'm going to look up where to find Progress of Truth and maybe where this other book is as well. Because they're both near me somewhere. And I may have just overlooked it, honestly.
Is there something I can do for you?
But I feel like since one of them... Blasphemous Revenants. By the way, if you get their armor and wear it, they get really pissed at you. Just so you know. Okay, looks like it's about vampires.
I don't know. Maybe she's right.
Ooh. How do I get away with that? I have to hope for a really good chameleon, I think. Maybe? Oh, hell yeah. So, whenever you see... So, down in the bottom left-hand corner, right here, when this is on, it's basically telling me that somebody isn't looking and that I have a higher chance of, like, getting away with things. It doesn't mean I'm guaranteed not to get captured. Yeah, this is the secret library!
Tiny.
You're not pissed that I'm here?
Go ahead, Outlander. What do you need?
He's like, you're not supposed to be in here, but I'm not gonna make a big deal out of it. Grasping Fortune. So I'm looking for Fire and Faith. And I'm looking for... I already forgot, but I'll know it when I see it. There it is. So there's our Fire and Faith. So I'm gonna run out of my good charged thing here. Nerevar at Red Mountain. Look at this thing just hiding here. The following is from the Apocrypha, the hidden writings of the Tribunal Temple. It is a scholarly retelling of a tradition transmitted through the Ashlanders concerning the battle at Red Mountain and subsequent events. The Ashlanders associate this tale with the telling of Elandro Sul, a shield companion of Nerevar, who came to live among the Ashlanders after the death of Nerevar and during the ascension of the Tribunal. There are many variant treatments of this story, but the primary elements are consistent throughout the tradition. The murder of Nerevar, the tragic fate of Dagath-ur, and the profane source of the Tribunal's divine power are denied by Temple doctrine as ignorant Ashlander superstition and not widely known among civilized Dunmer. Resdain, present-day Morrowind, was contested ground between two very different types of Mer, the Chimer, who worshipped Daedra, and the Dwemer, who worshipped a profane and secret power. These two people warred with each other constantly until their lands were invaded by a young, vibrant, and violent alien culture. The Nords. Two heroes, one from the Chimer and one from the Dwemer, Induril Nerevar and Dumak Dorfork, made peace between their people and together ousted the alien invaders. Then these two heroes worked long and hard to maintain that peace thereafter, though their counselors thought it could not last, or worse, that it shouldn't. Nerevar's queen and his generals, Almalexia, Southasil, Vivec, told him to claim all Resdain for his own. But Nerevar would not listen, for he remembered his friendship with Dumak. There would be only peace. So, I mean, this is telling us that these gods that we worship were, at the very least at one point, human. So, pretty interesting stuff. Until Dagath arrived, House Dagath had discovered the source of the profane and secret power of the Dwemer, the legendary heart of Lorkhan, which Dumak's people had used to make themselves immortal and beyond the measure of the gods. So the power of the Dwemer, the heart of Lorkhan, which Dumak's people had used to make themselves immortal. In fact, one of their high priests, Kagrenak, was building a new god so that the Dwemer could claim Resdain for their own. Interesting. The Tribunal urged Nerevar again to make war on the dwarves, because they'd found the power to become gods. Nerevar was troubled. He went to Dumak, his friend of old, and asked if what Dagath said was true, but Kagrenak and the high priest of the Dwemer had kept their new god secret from their king, and Dumak said the Dwemer were innocent of any wrongdoing. Nerevar was troubled again and made pilgrimage to Holamayan, the sacred temple of Azura, who confirmed that all that Dagath said was indeed true, and that the new god of the Dwemer should be destroyed for the safety of not only Resdain, but for the whole world. A god would tell you to destroy something that made mortals gods, wouldn't they? Wouldn't they? When Nerevar went back and told his tribunal what the goddess had said, his queen and generals felt themselves proved aright and again counseled him to war. There were reasons that the Dwemer and Chimer had hated each other forever. Finally, Nerevar, angered that his friend Dumak would lie to him, went back to Vvardenfell. This time, the Chimer king was arrayed in arms and armor and had his hosts around him, and he spoke harshly to Dumak Dorfor, king of Red Mountain. "You must give up your worship of the heart of Lorkhan, or I shall forget our friendship and the deeds that were accomplished in its name." And Dumak, who still knew nothing of Kagrenak's new god, but proud and protective as ever of his people, said, "We shall not relinquish that which has been our way for years beyond reckoning, just as the Chimer will not relinquish their ties to the lords and ladies of Oblivion. And to come at my door in this way, arrayed in arms and armor, and with your hosts around you, tells me you have already forgotten our friendship. Stand down, my sweet Nerevar, or I shall swear by the 15 and 1 golden tones, I shall kill you and all your people." Damn. And so the Chimer and Dwemer went to war. The Dwemer were well defended by their fortress at Red Mountain, but the bravery and cleverness of Nerevar's queen and generals drew most of the Dumak's armies out into the field and kept them there, so that Nerevar and Dagath could make their way into the heart chamber by secret means. There, Nerevar met Dumak, the king dwarf, and they both fell from grievous wounds. Dagath slew Kagrenak and took the tools the Dwemer used to tap the power of the heart. He went to his dying lord Nerevar and asked him what to do with these tools. And Nerevar summoned Azora again, and she showed them how to use the tools to separate the power of the heart from the Dwemer people. Ooh. This is probably how the Dwemer disappeared, huh? And on the fields, the tribunal and their armies watched as the Dwemer turned into dust all around them as their stolen immortality was taken away. Back in Red Mountain, Nerevar told Dagath-ur to protect the tools in the heart chamber until he returned. He told Dagath-ur to protect this heart chamber that gave you the power to become gods. Dagath-ur said, but shouldn't we destroy these tools at once so that they might never be used for evil again? But Nerevar was confused by his wounds and his sorrow, for he still loved Dumak and the Dwemer people, and so went to the fields outside of Red Mountain to confer with his queen and his generals. And his queen is Almalexia, is that right? Who had foreseen that this war would come and whose counsel he would not ignore again. I will ask the tribunal what we shall do. Wait, oh, I lost track of it. What we shall do with them, for they have the wisdom in the past that I had not. Have had wisdom in the past that I had not. Stay here, loyal Dagath-ur, until I return. Then Nerevar told his queen and generals all that had transpired under Red Mountain and how the Dwemer had used special tools to turn their people into immortals, and of the wondrous power of the Heart of Lorkhan. The tribunal decided that the Chimer should learn how to use this power so that Nerevar might claim Resdain and the world for their people. Nerevar did not expect or want this, so he asked his queen and generals to help him summon Azora yet again for her guidance. But the tribunal had become as greedy as Kagernach upon hearing of the power of the heart, and they coveted it. They made ritual as if to summon Azora, as Nerevar wanted, but Almalexia used poisoned candles, and Sothasil used poisoned robes, and Vivec used poisoned invocations. Nerevar was murdered. So this is hidden here as like heretical sources, right? Which means it's probably the true one, or at least based in some level of truth. So interestingly enough, like, his queen and his closest friends and confidants murdered him in order to gain the power of gods. Then Azura came forth anyway, and cursed the tribunal for their foul deeds. She told them that she would use her powers over Dusk and Dawn to make sure Nerevar would come back and make things right again. But the tribunal laughed at her, and said that soon they would be gods themselves, and that the Chimer people would forget their old ways of worship. And Azura knew this would be true, and that it would take a long time before her power might bring Nerevar back. It's true, the people here worship Vivec, not like the Daedric gods like Azura. So this is actually 100% seems to be true. What you have done here today is foul beyond measure, and you will grow to regret it, for the lives of gods are not what mortals think, and matters that weigh only years to mortals weigh on gods forever. And so that they might know forever their wicked deeds, Azora changed the Chimer into Dunmer, and their skin turned ashen, and their eyes into fire. So the Chimer were... Is that just the name for the High Elves? Or a version of the High Elves? So the High Elves kind of have the golden skin, right? And so Azora at this point turned them into the Dunmer, which are the Dark Elves. Their skin turned ashen and their eyes into fire. Let this mark remind you of your true selves, who, like ghouls, fed on the nobility, heroism, and trust of their king. And then the tribunal went into the Red Mountain and met with Dagath-ur. Dagath-ur saw what had been done, for his skin had changed as well, and he tried to avenge the death of Nerevar, but to no avail. He was driven off and thought dead. The tribunal found the tools he had been guarding, and, through study of Kagernach's methods, turned themselves into gods. Thousands of years after their apotheosis, the tribunal are still the gods of Morrowind, and the old ways of worship are remembered only by a few. And the murder of Nerevar is known to fewer, but his queen and generals still fear his return, for the words of Azora linger long, and they see the mark of her curse on their people every day. Okay, we managed to still that. Good. Damn, dude. That's crazy. That's crazy. We're gonna definitely hold on to this one because we may need that for a quest at some point. Okay, we know where one book is we're looking for. I mean, that seems like the important book. Like we need to give that to Caius. We already found that one. We're looking for the fire one's there. And we're still looking for progress and truth or whatever it's called. If it's not in here, I don't know where it is, man. Maybe it's through the door behind me? Behind maybe another lock, possibly? That would make sense, I suppose. There it is. Progress of truth. That's it. F5. Okay. Concerning the points of temple doctrine challenged by the dissident priests. 1. The divinity of the tribunal. Temple doctrine claims their apotheosis was miraculously achieved through questioning virtue, knowledge, testing, and battling with evil. Temple doctrine claims their divine powers and immortality are ultimately conferred as a communal judgment by the Dunmer ancestors, including among others the good Daedra, the prophet Veloth, and Saint Nerevar. Dissident priests ask whether Dagathar's powers and the tribunal's powers might ultimately derive from the same source. Yeah, that's pretty much confirmed. Not for, well, I guess if this heart is in Red Mountain, then yes, the source is the Red Mountain. Sources in the Apocrypha suggest that the tribunal relied on profanely enchanted tools to achieve godhood, and that those unholy devices were the ones originally created by the ungodly Dwemer sorcerer, Kagernak, to create the false construct Numidium. Okay. And yeah, we basically just read a much more in-depth history of this, right? Just from that other text. The purity of the tribunal. The dissident priests say that the temple has always maintained a public face represented by the hieroglypha, the priestly writings, and a hidden face represented by the apocrypha, the hidden writings, which is obviously a play on the Apocrypha. So that's fun. The public account portrays, yeah, the Apocrypha in Christianity is what I'm talking about, in case any of you were wondering. The public account portrays the actions of the tribunal in a heroic light, while the hidden writings reveal secrets, untruths, inconsistencies, conflicting accounts, and varying interpretations which hint at darker and less heroic motives and actions of the tribunes. In particular, conflicting accounts of the Battle of Red Mountain raise questions about the tribunal's conduct and about the source of their subsequent apotheosis. Also, there's good evidence that the tribunal have been concealing the true nature of the threat posed by Dagathar at Red Mountain, misleading the people about the tribunal's ability to protect Morrowind from Dagathar, and concealing a recent dramatic diminishing of the tribunal's magical powers. Temple accounts of the Battle of Red Mountain. Ashlander tradition does not place the tribunal at Red Mountain and holds that the Dwemer destroyed themselves, rather than that Nerevar destroyed them. Ashlander tradition further holds that Nerevar left Dagath guarding the profane secrets of Red Mountain while Nerevar went to confer with the Grand Council, that Nerevar died at the conference not of his wounds according to the Ashlanders but from treachery, and that subsequently the tribunal confronted a defiant Dagath within Red Mountain, then drove Dagath beneath Red Mountain when he would not yield to their will. Veneration of the Daedra saints and ancestors. While challenging the divinity of the tribunal, the dissidents do not challenge the sainthood or heroism of the tribunal. In fact, the dissident priests advocate restoring many of the elements of fundamentalist ancestor worship, as practiced by the Ashlanders and by Saint Vela. Exactly how this would work is debated inconclusively within the dissident priests. Denial of the prophecy. Sorry, I'm reading so much right now. Like, ugh, my throat. My poor throat. Denial of the prophecies of the incarnate and persecution of the Nerevarines. Though no consensus exists among the dissidents about whether the Nerevarine prophecies are genuine, all agree that the persecution of the Nerevarines is unjust and politically motivated. The dissident priests do not reject mysticism, revelation, or prophecy as part of the religious experience. The dissidents have not resolved the issue of true or false insights. They have studied the mysticism of the Ashlander ancestor cults, in particular, the rites of the Ashlander seers and wise women, and the prophecies of the incarnate. Many among the dissident priests have come to believe that the Nerevarine prophecies are genuine and have made a systemic study of prophecies recorded in temple archives. Ooh, okay. We need those prophecies. Authority of the archcanon and the ordinators. The dissident priests reject the authority of the archcanon and the ordinators. The temple hierarchy has been corrupted by self-interest and politics, and no longer acts in the best interests of the temple or its worshippers. The dissident priests believe the archcanon and ordinators speak for themselves, not for the tribunal. 7. The Inquisition and the use of terror and torture by the ordinators. Terror and torture. Within the temple hierarchy, it is an open secret that the ordinators rely on abduction, terror, torture, and secret imprisonment to discourage heresy and dissent. The dissident priests feel the ordinators are either out of control or tools used to maintain a corrupt priesthood in power. 8. Fundamentals of temple doctrine, charity for the poor, education for the ignorant, protection for the weak. Though the dissident priests acknowledge that most rank-and-file priests honor the best traditions of the temple, they believe that many priests in higher ranks are interested more in love of authority and luxury than in the welfare of the poor, weak, and ignorant. Being a thief is paying off. Being a thief is paying off. Okay. F5.
Go ahead, Outlander. What do you need?
No, don't you look at me. You look the other way. This way. This way. This way. Hello. Hello. Whoops. I did not mean to do that. My bad. Hey, look at me. Nope. Oh, maybe. Am I looking at the right book? Yes, okay. Woo!
Rumors flow from the house.
Oh,
of
interesting.
troubles.
That one is a lower lock level, but it's also trapped. So the one on the other side is actually easier to get into. Okay, technically I'm ready to recall. And then after that we can go to Balmora. So, yeah. Good stuff. Here it is. Here it is. Where's the other one? It was a Dwemer book. There it is. Good, this is the last of the 3 books I was looking for. Please accept these trinkets of mine. I no longer have any use for them. Ondusi's key has been added to your inventory. Like the spell? Amulet of Admonition, Second Barrier Belt, Sure Feet. Huh. There wasn't a scroll of Ondusi, so I wonder if he gave me the spell. No, I don't think so. It just said Ondusi's key. Well, look at that. It's a really good enchanted item.
I see this land suits you.
Cool.
We welcome you freely, Outlander.
I may have need of you later, but for now you should study and practice so that you may advance further in House Telvanni. Okay, but you'll join the council, right? You have brought me the books that I desired, and so I will consider young Arian's offer. I will join the council at least for the next century or two and sponsor a mouth to send to Sadrith Mora. Okay. Very cool. All right. So now let's go and do some main story. Let's go get this book to Caius.
Where would you like to go?
It was more expensive than necessary, but that's okay.
Why walk when you can ride?
How do you even get up there? I have your report, and I'll make copies of your notes from Hulia and the Progress of Truth. Okay, it's a good thing I kept that note in my inventory, huh? Give me time to read and digest all this. In the meantime, I'm promoting you to journeyman. You're doing good work, and here are 200 drakes. Go out and treat yourself to a new pair of shoes. And go do some jobs for the guilds or other freelance work, just to keep your cover story current. Or get some training. Then, when you're fit and rested, come back and I'll have new orders for you. Hey, I'm ready. Let's do it. I'm not ready for you yet, I told you. Go out and brush up your skills. Do some freelance work to support your cover story, or go shopping. Sure, I'll do just that. I will do just that. You got orders for me? We need an Ashlander informant. I've heard of a fellow in Aldrune named Hasur Subani. An Ashlander who left the Waste to become a wealthy trader. They say the Ashlanders like to give and receive presents. Take these 100 drakes, find out what Zain Subani likes and get him a gift, then give him the gift, and see if he will tell you about the Ashlanders and the Nerevarine cult. Then report back to me. Okay. Aldrune. Yeah, I should probably go to my house. I want to drop off, those papers. What I'd be a little bit worried about is that that scroll that I found might be an important quest item.
Keep a civil tongue.
And
Tommy.
technically it's a stolen item, which might get taken away from me if I ever get arrested, so... Alright, we're off to Aldrune. My jump stat ain't half bad these days either.
Those boots are ruined.
Okay, so the guy's name is Zain Subani, and we need to figure out what he likes. So, I guess we'll just start by asking around town, huh? What do we have for the Fighters Guild? Maybe we should do that at some point soon, too. How's it going, man? Get cured. Get cured of what? Get diseases cured at the temple or imperial cult, or a healer or apothecary or enchanter. Or get a spell and cure yourself. Okay. Let's see, is he one of the Veteran Council members? No. Do we have a clue where he is? Okay, well, we don't have a lot to go on here. I wonder if he's maybe a shop owner? What did it say about him? To become a wealthy trader.
Mind your tongue, Dilboni.
Okay. You gonna let me go up those stairs? Cool. Let's go to the inn and see if maybe anybody there will tell us anything.
I've got better things to do, so if you don't mind, let's move this along.
Nope. Okay, we'll go around there, and then we'll go in there to see if he owns one of those shops. Yeah, that just goes to the temple, doesn't it? but there's a bunch of houses over here. Get out of here, bro. How dare he? Okay, they did say Aldaroon. Okay, good. Maybe I should check the rat in the pot, too. It's not you, right?
I don't know where to begin.
No. Don't really have any leads, other than just trying to look everywhere in town. He doesn't seem to have a house. Alright, let's see if he's here.
Please go ahead.
Alright, you guys are fucking obnoxious. Seriously, you guys suck.
Yes, Outlander?
Sarah. We greet you as a friend. Welcome.
Okay, well, he needs to be an Ashlander, which means that he's gonna be a dark elf.
This is a grand day. Greetings.
Wealth beyond.
Alright, I looked it up. He's in the Aldskar Inn. Didn't I check there, though? Yeah, like, that's one of the places I actually went into. Wasn't this like the first place I looked? Oh, I came in here and talked to people, but
Outlander.
to see if they would, but yeah, I didn't look downstairs. Oh man, and to think I would have just found him.
Mind your tongue, Delvani. You may speak.
Okay.
Outlander, what do you want?
Where is he?
Haven't I heard of you?
Oh, does it have one of those weird things like the rat in the pot does? Oh man, these keep tripping me up, man. Such a weird thing.
If I can help, I will, but don't take too much time.
I am Hesor Zain Subani, analog vernacular. May you bless and be blessed. I do not wish to be rude, but if you have business, speak it, for I am at leisure and would prefer to be alone with my thoughts. I see, you wish to learn of Ashlanders from me. And what is it that you wish to learn? What are their gift-giving customs? A curious question. A gift is a sign of courtesy among strangers and affection among friends. Among strangers, a thoughtful gift is a sign that you are cautious and considerate and aware of the other's wants and needs. Such is particularly useful for traders and travelers. Among friends, it is a private thing and subtle with great risks. For the test of the gift is how well it is tailored to the receiver. Okay, thoughtful gift. I understand you wish to give me a suitable gift, but you do not know me well enough to choose such a gift, or you cannot find or afford a gift you know to be suitable for me. Well, let us take your earnest thoughts and effort as a token of your gift, and you have behaved courteously, and I am inclined to help you. What would you wish to know about the Ashlanders and the Nerevarine cult? Oh, interesting. Notes have been added to my inventory. There is too much to tell. Here, take these notes I've written here. I've written here what you should know about the Ashlanders and the Nerevarine cult, but most of all, if you are visiting a camp, there are things you should know about courtesy and challenges among the Ashlanders. And since you asked about the Nerevarine cult, perhaps you'll be interested in my views on the Ashlanders and foreigners, because a guiding passion of the Nerevarine cult is their hatred of foreigners. They worship the great Ashkan and Hordator, Nerevar Moon and Star, who in ages past destroyed the evil, godless dwarfs and banished the treacherous Dagathor and his foul hosts beneath Red Mountain. The cult is of small consequence in Ashlander worship, and only among the Orshilaku do its followers have any influence. Other Ashlander tribes share the sentiments of the cult, but regard the Nerevarine prophecies with suspicion and skepticism. Tell me more about the prophecies. I have heard it is said that prophecies foretell the return of a reincarnated Nerevar, who shall drive the foreigners from the Ashlands and who shall cast down the false gods of the temple, and restore the true worship of the ancestors. It is a dream that would appeal to every Ashlander, but it is thought but a silly ancient legend, and little more by many Ashlanders, myself included. What are the Urshilaku? Are the Ashlanders of the northern Ashlands in the West Gash, in the northwest of Vvardenfell. Ashkan Sul Matul is their chief, a brave and respected war leader and warrior protector of the Nerevarine cult. The Urshilaku camp moves with the herds, but usually lies close to the Sea of the Ghosts. Okay. The camp moves with the herds. Cool. North of the village of Margan, on the northern coast of Vvardenfell. Ashlander worship. Born into the ancestor cult of their clan, the Nerevarine cult is different though. It is a very small cult with only a few wise women with the gift of prophecy and a few holy warrior heroes who guard and protect the seers. Sul Matul, Ashkan of the Urshilaku, is the warrior protector of the cult, and Nibani Mesa, also of the Urshilaku, is the oracle seer of the cult. Okay, have I gone through all of these? Have I missed any of them? Yes, courtesy challenges. And Ashlanders and foreigners. When challenged for sport, it is acceptable to decline. When challenged for honor, it is shameful to decline. Honor challenges come from offense given in speech or action, or may represent customary formal challenges of status or rituals. Okay, for sport, decline. For honor, shameful. Okay. Ashlanders and foreigners. They wish all foreigners and their false gods could be driven from Morrowind. At very least, Ashlanders wish the foreign devils would leave them in peace. Ashlanders think it shameful to attack unarmed persons, but they will kill without hesitation an armed person who offends them or their clan laws. No Ashlander is fool enough to make war against the Empire. However, if such a war might be won, many Ashlanders might cheerfully give their lives to win such a war. Okay. Margan, a small village north of Aldrune. Siltstrider, Aldrune to Margan. Cool. All right. I got what I needed, I think.
Go ahead.
I'd like to give a very special shout out to my patron supporters: Darren York, ZTD, 7th Son, Louis D, Ivan K, Len, HLLJ, Knife Namaste, Caleb Adkins, and Jordan and Emily Hill. If you would also like to join this tier or any others, check out my memberships or my Patreon in the description down below.